on the News Channel 5 network. This is Countdown to Friday, sponsored by Zander Insurance.
Ladies and, of course, gentlemen, welcome into the Zander Insurance Countdown to Friday. It's our maiden voyage. I am Brad Hopkins. That's Maurice Patton. You got us for about another 60 minutes or so. Of course, we were brought to you by the awesome people at Zander Insurance Group. I've never seen insurance done this way. It's not going to turn into an infomercial, I promise you that. But when I found out exactly what they do at Zander Insurance Group, basically, selling or basically finding out the best person for your policy by a number of different, companies that they use. It's more than just like one company that you use. They actually find the right policy for you and your family. So it's cool that Zander Insurance is actually the entitled sponsor for our show. But we got a lot of segments to get into. We divide our show up into so many different situations so that way you can keep a part of it. We start our show with recap and review, and that's sponsored by Price Point Furniture, Maurice.
Where the price is the point.
Yeah, we actually rehearsed that too, and it actually sounds pretty good. I like that. So what that is basically we look at the week that was, and we give you what you need to be looking for on Friday. So we start out our journey, Cane Ridge. Actually, this is a great contest. We're talking about Cane Ridge versus Hendersonville. Normally, these are two really, really good teams, but Commandos, they came up short on this one, Mo.
Well, they came up short, but they came up short in overtime. And in fact, they were leading 40-33 inside the last 3 minutes. This was probably the game in the mid-state to this point in the season. Both these teams came in undefeated. Big Region 6-5A contest. Again, Cane Ridge comes out on top 47-46, but wouldn't surprise anybody, I don't think, if those two see each other again at some point this year.
Tell me a little bit about their senior quarterback, DJ Thorpe. Is this guy a next Saturday at the next level kind of guy? What do you think about him?
He's a next level guy somewhere. I'm not sure exactly what level. 6'3", 190, flicks it 50 yards. Great footwork.
Effortless.
Yeah, really. I mean, ball comes off his hands, and I mean, he's got a gun, but he can move around and he can turn it upfield as well. I think some people are missing on him. He's got some offers from Cornell and Samford down in Birmingham right now. I think he can play bigger than that. He's going to be a steal for somebody.
Now, Maurice, in a losing effort, Anthony Hughes did have 254 yards, 4 touchdowns in that effort against Cane Ridge. But still, that's a guy right there that can actually play too, even in a losing effort, right?
Yeah, the junior running back, Hendersonville runs that wing T. He's kind of the featured guy for them. He's been over 100 yards in each of their 3 games to this point, so he's definitely their bell cow. Big performance for him as usual. Plays linebacker on the defensive side of the ball as well, so he's a guy who they have to have every Friday night, and he's answered the call every Friday night, and he's going to continue to do that.
You say bell cow. Now, I know you're not trying to be funny, but Jordan Bell is another guy that had 105 yards for Cane Ridge, basically. Is this a guy that you think, no, we're not going to say everybody that's good or that's bad has to play at Division I, but that's just a gauge for us, So when we look at Jordan Bell, obviously it's a compliment to DJ Thorpe. Is this another guy that you think might get some offers from Division I, Division II schools where we're watching him on Saturday?
Absolutely. He's going to have a chance to play, and so is Imari Barton, his backfield mate. They've got a nice 1-2 punch in the running game back there. Jordan plays on defense as well in the defensive secondary. Friday night, he was the guy with the hot hand. This Friday night, when they play McGavock, it might be Barton with the hot hand, and Eddie Woods doesn't mind going to either of them at any point in the game. So, but they both tend to keep some pressure off of Thorpe in the passing game when he can turn and hand it to them or when he can turn it up himself. So they are really diverse offensively, and I think that's going to be the key to their success all year.
Now, Maurice, this program's only been around for 9 years, if I'm correct. And in 9 years, this is their first 3-0 start. Am I correct?
That sounds right.
Is this something that they can build on? Do you think Cane Ridge might be potentially a powerhouse in their district?
I think so. I think that they can be. I think that the next few weeks will tell. They've still got to play Beach. They've still got to play Hillsborough right here in Metro. So, but I think that Coach Woods in his second season there after coming up from Memphis Melrose feels like this is what they're building toward. It's what they've been building toward. They went to the playoffs last year. They played Riverdale in the playoffs about 3 years ago coming off of an 8-2 season. So they've got some winning tradition over there even in the short time, but they're trying to take that next step and be that team that does it over and over and over again.
A lot of great games in week 3 of high school football action. Stratford actually beat East Nashville 20-19. We talked about CPA. They beat White House Heritage 13. Were we just up in Robertson County up there at the the pep rally on the square. Wasn't White House Heritage one of those teams we were
White
talking
House
about?
Heritage was one of those teams that was up there.
Exactly. So we get all over the place. That's just the way we do it. But another game that we wanted to talk about, it was explosive offense. It was a stout defense that gave Franklin that win over a team that's very dear to your heart, right, in Overton. I just say that because you're all over the place, Maurice.
Well, I'm a Franklin graduate. Anybody that knows me knows that. So I mean, but yeah, it's nice to see them have some success.
I'm shocked you didn't wear any maroon today, or anything.
You know, I've got a friend on Facebook that told me purple was my color. So
and she was right.
I think any color is my color.
I know that. Give it to me 2 hours quick. I know that's right. Well, tell me about the game, though, Franklin and Overton.
Franklin, last 2 games started well, faded late. Cost them in their season opener against Centennial 28-24, held on over at Riverdale 127-20. This time around they got out strong, and they finished up strong and put Overton away 28-6, got up 14-0 at the half. Did something different, talked to Donnie Webb over the weekend. Hurry up option.
Hurry up option.
You never hear that.
I like that. Hurry up option. Is that like that's not like the read option. Hurry up is obviously no huddle. But
exactly.
Right.
And what he said was, we felt like Overton had a lot of guys going both ways.
Right.
And so we wanted to kind of take advantage of that, maybe wear them down a little bit. And it worked. Obviously they scored 28 points, but they also held the ball for 37 minutes. High school football game is 48 minutes.
And they held for 37 minutes.
Yeah. So,
but you got to say, if depth is an issue, the fact that guys having to go both ways, that's a great masterful game plan, doing your scouting report, figuring out that, at some point in time, they're going to wear down, and it's exactly what happened, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, tell us about quarterback Carter Hendry. Obviously, him and Wes Patterson had a great game. They spearheaded the Franklin attack.
They did. Coach Webb has decided to go with 2 quarterbacks, and they're comfortable with it, and both those guys are comfortable with it. They combined for 156 rushing yards, threw for 3 touchdowns between them, and 2 of those were to the running back, Mitch Rossi. So they are comfortable with that 2 quarterback system, and they both are successful in it, and neither of them minds sitting and watching the other one work, apparently.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, see, I kind of grew up in that Williamson County area, so I'm used to those kids down there. Connor Polk, I remember him when he was a little fella. Dude had a sack in the game, in that game right there.
He and Rossi are the 2 linebackers back there. They're getting it done on defense. Donnie's a defensive guy, and he's probably going to try to get his best guys on that side of the ball. There's probably a lot of arguments in the offense-defense staff meetings on who's going to be where, but Polk and Rossi are their 2 linebackers, so I'm sure Connor appreciates you giving him a shout out.
Absolutely. It's called meeting in the backfield. That's what we usually call it. Cornerback Jared Howell, he had a couple of picks. So defensively, this is a very sound team. We talked about that, them being able to shut down and hold the Overton offense to just 102 yards. That's probably pretty good.
And there's a lot of talent on that Overton offense as well, with Theo Jackson, the kid who's committed to UT as a defensive back. They run him a lot at quarterback. Tavarius Travis is one of their running backs. They've got 2 or 3 guys that they rotate back there, but they like to get it out on the perimeter and use their speed, and Franklin negated that for them.
Absolutely. That's what talent can do. So we've recapped for you, brought to you by Price Point Furniture. Now it's time for us to review the games that are coming up. There are a few tilts that we want to get into as far as the ones that you need to be paying attention to. Mo, where do you want to start?
Let's start with that CPA Pearl Cone game.
Right.
CPA, 3-time state finalist in Class 3A. Lost in the finals last year to Alcoa, won it the year before beating Alcoa. Got off to a little bit of a rough start. They're 1-2 right now. Picked up a big win last weekend, like you said, up at White House Heritage, 35-13. Starting to kind of get their feet under them offensively, and the quarterback Ryan Elledge, 273 passing yards and a touchdown. James Deaton rushed for 56 yards. Rushed for 76 yards. Caught 76 yards in passes, scored a couple of touchdowns. Big night for them. Big game against Pearl Cone, looking to follow up on their 50-14 win up at Macon County.
Before we head to the break, how about Riverdale versus Hillsboro?
Riverdale won their opener, lost their last 2. Got a big commitment to Georgia Tech and Gentry Bonds. A lot of talent on that team. Hillsboro lost their first 2. Won this past week against Station Camp. Kind of settled their quarterback situation, looks like, with Taiwan Goodner, kid who threw for 242 yards, 3 touchdowns, ran for 2 more. So this could be an interesting ball game, non-region matchup.
Absolutely. We got to take a break, and we appreciate you stopping by the Zander Insurance Countdown to Friday. This right here that you're watching on the way out is Hendersonville at Cane Ridge. Stick around. We got more coming when we come back.